Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and you know that it is finally time. Yet again, you guys have requested this, and I have finally delivered. Thank you for finally delivering my things, Alta. I really appreciate it. We have the Afterglow Urban Decay highlighting set, and drum roll please, the Troublemaker Palette. Now this is something, and it did come with a travel size Troublemaker mascara, but like whatever, that's not the focal point here, people. Now these are something that you guys have asked me about countless times. I'm gonna go through them with you today. We're gonna put some on our eyes. This one is $39, and again you get a variety of colors which we will go over. I have swatched. And then this Afterglow kit is $34. It is just a highlight palette, and I have swatched those as well. We will go over them. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and do all the swatches together at the same time because that's what makes sense. However, I do want to start real quick and talk about this Afterglow highlight palette. I wasn't super surprised to see that they came out with one because that's kind of what everybody's doing. Everyone's coming out with a highlight palette, which is cool. Gives us a ton of variety. I love that. So the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love that they kind of modeled it around like the look and feel of a highlight. You know, this is like what I imagine a highlight looks like. If you got really, really microscopically close, it looks like this. It has a cute little Urban Decay symbol right here. Very cute, like thought and a detail to packaging. I love that. I like their closure on this too, and I like that it's more of like an airtight kind of box quality. I feel like it helps keep the content safer, and B, air from getting to them, which is awesome in cosmetics. It's what helps keep them from going bad or, you know, getting dried out or weird textured or anything like that. Now you open it up and you do get 4 shades, obviously a bronzy, 2 lighter, more gold ones, and then a pink undertone one. What I thought was cool about this is that right now we are seeing a billion of these palettes come out, but what most people are doing, and of course it comes with a mirror, that just caught my eye, but what most people are doing is they're putting like pinks and blues and iridescence in one palette, and then in another palette they're putting golds and bronze and things like that. So I thought it was kind of cool that they gave us a little flavor from each. You know, you get a little light gold, a little lighter-ish gold, and then a pink, and then a nice brown to kind of like even it all out. So obviously we're going to go in with this. I will close you up. Okay, I'll bring you close up for those swatches because girl, look at those. Oh child. Now the other thing that we are obviously talking about, you guys requested this a ton, so of course you knew I had to pick it up, the Troublemaker Kit. Now also the same box design right here, which like I told you, I love that. On the little front, I actually really love this detail. It says, I like my eyelashes as black as my heart and as long as the list of people I want to punch in the face. That's perfect. So you open it up, again, you get a mirror, and the packaging for this one really feels like quality. Like I know it's made out of cardboard and it has a beautiful appeal to it, but it feels heavier than like a standard cardboard palette. It's almost like they put some kind of a weight in it or something, which is really nice. And I love that it has a little magnetic closure. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the shadows, you guys. I swatched all of them. The only one I did not swatch is the Clash right in the middle, which is black and a white. I didn't swatch it because A, I feel like all that's going to be is I'm going to swirl my finger around in it and then it's going to turn gray and that's going to be hideous. So I definitely think that's there for like more of a brightening up one area, maybe a matte highlight, and then the black would obviously be there for like a liner if you wanted to kind of go in and run it along your lash line as like a faux liner or to set your eyeliner. That's probably what it's there for, I would assume. I checked the box, it didn't say anything, so I'm only going to assume. I would also assume that it's there to create like that juxtaposition between like good and bad and light and darkness and just evil and all that, you know, that kind of concept, which is cool. So anyways, let's go ahead, let's get into the close-ups of these palettes, and then we shall go from there. I can't get over like the packaging on this is so beautiful. Ugh, okay, swatches. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the matte shade Bailout, and then Riot, which look at how insane that is. Oh my good lord. 7 and 7, Relish, Knockout, which is just a matte brown, Girl Crush, which is like an iridescent red pink kind of color, Bankroll, and then After Hours, which is like a smoky gray. So that is the entire palette, less the one in the dead center. Now in the highlight shade, we have No Angel, Wicked, Cliche, and ONS, which I'm gonna pull those back a little bit because I feel like they're looking different in all kinds of different lighting. I don't know why. There we go. That's a lot better. For some reason, the lighting back here isn't as like darkened as it is when it's close. But like, hello, hot stuff. Okay, so that's enough of that. I am probably, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. We're going to start with the eyes like we normally do. Paige, you guys slow down. Anytime there's a highlight involved, I'm like, can we play with it? Can we play with it? No, Paige, you need to slow your roll. Thank you very much. Have a nice night. Now, because I'm assuming that's what it's there for, I am going to attempt to prime and set my eyes using the white side of Clash right there, because I have to know. Like, at first I was like, no, I'm just going to do it with setting powder like a good noodle. And then I was like, no, because what if that's what it's there for? And like, I don't even try. Like, I have to know if it works for that. Oh my good Lord, brushes everywhere. It's chaos. Whew, all right, guys, it was a thing, but I did it, and it actually came out pretty unscathed right there. I did a good job. All right, whew. You guys, that was like trickery. Like, if I had to just say one thing I hated, that would be it. Oh, and before I forget too, I do want to talk about the swatches and how they applied. The only shade that I had any real issue with, unfortunately, was the shade Relish right here. It swatched really like chalky and very patchy. Again, could just be the way it was. The rest of them were pretty creamy, pretty decent. I look forward to building them up, putting them on my eyes. The first thing I noticed, of course, they were very equal in this palette. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes and 4 shimmers, and then with the guy in the middle here to represent, you know, both spectrums for light and dark, which is cool. Cool concept. I like that they were very even tempered with the mattes and the shimmers, because I feel like if you're working in a palette that is this small, you definitely need that. I look at this palette and I honestly see more of like a going out nighttime kind of feel, just because that's like literally these are like that deep kind of more urban, like I'm going out, I'm gonna get me some, going to a club, not that I even know what that really looks like, but that kind of a scene, that's what I see when I see this, which I do think that you could definitely use it in other ways, but that's like the first like thought that I gravitate toward, which is cool. The name of the palette is Troublemaker. They want you to kind of feel like you gonna get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead, we're gonna build up Bailout and 7 and 7 in the crease, and then we're probably gonna put Relish in there somewhere. And then we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do from there. I get nervous sometimes, but that's kind of what I'm thinking so far. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, where's my brush? You guys knew that was coming. What's funny is I thought about it and I was like, damn it, I don't know where my brush is, but I'm not gonna say it, and it just came right out of my mouth before I could even stop it. Story of my life. So let's start with that shade Bailout. My God, you guys, that is the perfect starting crease color. Hello, hey, how are ya? Anybody see, oh God, okay, come on, Paige, you're old, but not this old. Think about it. No. Man of the House. Anybody see Man of the House? I think that was the one that had Chevy Chase in it. And they were like, hey, how are you, Jack? And he goes, fine, thanks, how are you? That's what just popped into my head. And if I don't get somebody in the comments backing me up, girl, I'm gonna be pissed. I am a little obsessed with that shade. I love the Bailout shade. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with 7 and 7. You guys, there's a lot of kick and pan, not uncommon for Urban Decay shadows. But just remember, tap, 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 because girl, you're gonna wear it if you don't tap it off. Oh, yes, God. Oh. I live. You guys, as I do this channel, like the one thing that I keep realizing is that I die over a good crease color. It's the absolute best thing in the whole world. Which again, you know, these are shadows that you can get in so many palettes, I know. But like, it doesn't stop me from getting excited when I have a good crease color. Oh. Oh, and you guys will also notice too, one of the things that you guys were asking me to do was to like let the camera roll a little bit longer so you could actually see how the shadows apply. And I promise I do try, but I keep getting like, as you guys know, I'm kind of blind. And so I have to keep my mirror close. Well, then what happens is the camera focuses on the mirror instead of on my face. And then you can't see me. And then you're just staring at a mirror and you can't even see what I'm doing. So if you're like, wow, why is she not showing us? It's probably because that damn mirror got into focus. I keep trying to get it out of the frame, but like my blindness trumps that, and then I can't see anything. And then I bring it closer, and then before you know it, it's back in the frame again. Now, this is where it gets good. I kind of want to start with the brown shade Knockout, but then I also want the red. So let's go in that brown, this dark brown shade Knockout, and we're gonna keep just folding it in. We're gonna keep this one primarily on the outer V. Oh, hello, hot stuff. Okay, so anybody else that does YouTube, you end up like looking at the viewfinder and you're like, oh God, I'm feeling it. And before you know it, you've like just recorded yourself looking at yourself for like a solid 2 minutes. Like, oh yeah, okay, That's my life. And I'm shameless, and I know it. All right, guys, now we're to the hard part. I want to do something fun. And by the way, we talked about this for me, that After Hours tone, which is this gray guy. We've talked about the fact I don't typically put gray on my eyes. Anything gray or gray undertone, even gray undertone blues, I cannot pull because, honey, they make me look like I'm 75 going on a Coke binge, and it's just not, it's not a good look for me. So I usually don't gravitate towards shades like that. This one is beautiful and creamy and fabulous. Just not the shade for me, you know what I'm saying? So, what do I want to go with? I kind of love the idea of fading that green, like this super beautiful reflect green right here. Hello, focus, thank you. Into this red. I know it's like a little bit too Christmassy, but so I want to find a way to like urban it up a little and make it look like not so Christmassy. Hey, stop, drop, and pop it. Ooh, stop, drop, and hop it. Yeah, ooh, da, da, da. Ooh, ah, 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 oh, 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 oh. Yeah, girl, get it, get it, get it. Ooh, yeah, oh, get it, girl, get it, get it. I have no idea. I don't know. All right, this is the wrong brush, but I'm going to try it anyways. We're just going to try to, like, get some of this red on here. And we're going in, guys. We are doing this. I'm committed, and I love this red. Oh, oh God, hello, gorgeous. So red, if I called you up and I said, can I have your babies? What would you say? Because that's where we at, girl. Wow, that is pretty. Ooh, I don't know how the green's gonna look. Oh, we're getting some fallout. Just for the record, we're getting fallout. Okay. Now, do I want to risk it with that green? Ooh, I just had such a good idea. What if I took this white shade? Oh my God, change of plans. I want to take this white shade in the center right here, and I want to do like a matte, like a into the wet. Oh, yep, girl, I'm done. All right, so I think we've landed on this one of my little Harry Potter brushes here. I dampened it a tiny, tiny bit to go into this light shade because I feel like it needs a little punch or a little help. It might not even work for this. I honestly don't know. But I grabbed this one because it had like this V shape to it, so I thought it would work good. I don't know. Guys, I'm doing this with you. I have no idea. Oh, motherfucker. See, guys, this is why that's a bad idea. Do you see the black in the wrong pan? Because see, you can kind of see what I was going for, right? But that's not going to work now because some idiot decided to do that. Okay, so this is why I hate little, like, this is what happens when you try to fix it. Do you see? Yeah. So, in my opinion, that middle shade is completely freaking useless. Nope. Completely useless, and I'm pissed about it. Alright, so I'm going to go in with this top shade right up here. Look at how beautiful and bronzy and sexy that guy is. I'm just going to go in, though, with my finger and use him. I think, honestly, he'll manipulate amazing. This one, when I swatched it, I literally could have wrapped this shade, like, all the way around my arm. It is such a beautiful freaking shade. Ooh, girl, ton of fallout, though. And that's even with a finger, but dang, that is gorgeous. Alright, so now I get to blend. I'm going to go ahead and take that shade, knock out the dark brown, and I'm just going to blend on this outer part right here, just the top of the red into the crease a little bit, like to make that a nice, smooth transition. Now I am going to take that very first shade, Bailout, and just kind of smoke out this whole area right here, and kind of bring it into the inner crease. I'm going to fix the inner crease, because right there you can see there's a lot of product that needs to be kind of smoothed over, but we got to take care of this whole blending into the brow bone business because it's bugging me. Now for my lower lash line, you guys have seen me do this a couple times before. I really like it. Some people hate it, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just going to take a little bit of that shade Riot, which is that really beautiful bronzy shimmer, on my finger. I'm going to pull a little bit, not too much right here. I'm just going to real loose. You see how it's just like smudging it down there? I love that like smoked out grunge kind of look. I think it looks absolutely perfect. Again, it's not for everyone though. Some people prefer a more clean look, but when I do like a look like this that's already very like grungy and kind of dark, I love doing an under eye like that. I feel like it keeps the theme cohesive and it just looks just gorgeous. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know about you guys. I just, oh God, I'm crazy about that. Like, I don't do it often because it's like taboo and you're not supposed to, and it looks like it's not blended. I don't know though. I just think it matches that grunge eye look so much. Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay, that was obnoxious. I was trying to pull up my sleeve. All right, so where am I at now? I think we're gonna take a small snippet, tipple dip dip snips. What? I'm sorry, what? What? And I wanna drip over into the highlight palette. And I also wanted to pause so I could zoom you guys out because you were awkwardly close for this part. All right, so as we talked about, boom, boom. Let's put some on our face. You guys, it's not too hard to test this part. We take this brush right here, and we're going to go in. I think I want the shade, I think I want No Angel. It's definitely the lightest of the four, which is usually the one I have to go with. We're just going to start by popping around the face. These were definitely on the creamy side. I mean, oh, okay. Girl, I'm listening. I'm sorry, was I talking while you were talking? I didn't mean to. Hello. What I really loved about these is that when I swatched them, I felt like they were super creamy and they were very blendable. Like into my skin, I kind of like went over and touched them a little extra to see if they would like ball up or get weird, and they did not. Oh, this one, I have not taken the plastic off. Hello. All right, so whoops, I got a little too excited. And you know, I was doing the math on these. I think this one was 34 bucks for this highlight kit. And for $34, honestly, it's not that bad. That's like less than $10 a piece. Some of the ones at the drugstore are like $7.99. I think a lot of times too on like higher price point items, that was supposed to be an air quote, but it ended up looking like that. It ends up seeming like we're paying so much more when, like, for stuff like this one, really, if you divide it out, the price isn't horrible. I mean, it's still expensive, but like a lot of times, you know, like I said, a lot of drugstore highlights are like $6.99, $7.99, so $7, $8. When you put them in a palette like this, that's how much it would cost even if they were drugstore. And I'm telling you, this is really pretty. Okay. Now, I do have to be honest, this is on the verge of being too dark for my skin tone. Typically, anything with a golden undertone, I do have to add a white on top of, or like a really, really white shimmer highlight to make it work. And I don't typically put these ones down the bridge of my nose. So that's just me. That's because I'm super pale. I still wear gold. It's all about knowing how to wear whatever it is that you want to wear. I'm going to pop off camera super quick. I'm going to throw on my liner and some mascara, and we will come back and we will do some final thoughts because, girl, I have some. Alright, so I went a little bit darker on the lip than I normally do. I was just feeling like all the red cranberry vibes and it made me excited. You guys, I did go ahead as well and I was playing around a little bit with some of the highlights and the textures and the things that I put on my face. And what I thought was kind of cool is I went ahead from this glow palette. You guys know that I went in with the lightest shade, which is No Angel right here. And it was still a little bit too dark for me. So I went ahead over top of it. I told you guys that I normally pop on like a white, super intense highlight anytime I go in with a gold to kind of counteract on the high point of my cheek right there. So I went in with Pearl by Becca. It's the perfect, like, super white, like, intense color to go in with for that kind of thing. So if you're also a fellow pasty, this is a great way to go. There's also, hold on, I just realized, I think I have another one that works really well as well, that works good too. This one was my favorite. It's by ColourPop, but as you can see, we had a little misunderstanding, and ColourPop does not label their container, so I have no idea what's in this. So there's that. That's cute. Now, this is one of my favorites from ColourPop. Super affordable. This is Stole the Show, and it is one of their Super Shock cheek shadows. It is also a really nice, intense white shade. It carries with it a little bit more of a gold undertone, but it's still that like super intense. And these, like I said, they're cheap. I think they're like $5 or $6, and this lasts you forever. I actually somehow ended up with 2 of them, and like I take one with me when I travel and I leave one here. That way, no matter what, I always have one. These are so good, and they're so affordable. Okay, anyways, so I went ahead and I did that, and you guys, my biggest thing, and I was kind of going through the pros and cons as I finished up my face as far as like, what do I like, what don't I like? So I'm going to start with this glow palette right here. I really love the texture of these. I think they are super good pigmented. They actually don't emphasize a lot of texture, which is awesome. They're a very like finely milled, very creamy feel to the texture. Like as I swatched them, they felt very nice, which is awesome. This I really like. and I love the color selection in here. I like that they give you enough of an option that like you can play it fun and flirty, or you can be a little more standard depending on what you're doing. And depending on your skin tone, kind of depends on how you could use these. You know, if one you could use on your cheek, another you might be able to use on your eye, something in that realm. Now, when it gets over to the Troublemaker palette, this one I struggle with a little bit. I feel like $39, so I'm going to say $40. You guys know, I round up because numbers, they're just, it's a lot. So for me, I feel like for 40 bucks, this is not something that I would say like, oh yes, you definitely need this. Couple reasons. One, that shade in the dead center there, I can't stand that. I think the pan is too small. It's cut weird. I don't like it. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. I'm a very like messy, like, no, I need to be able to just like dunk a brush and go. And that does not allow for the dunk a brush and go scenario. It was a lot of rhyming all at once. Now, the other thing that I had to say, I couldn't figure out why I was having such an issue with my eyes and this red and this bronze. The problem I was having is that they are such a different texture between this amazing creamy bronze shade, which I put from the middle or from the inner corner to the middle, and there's this red over here, you guys. It is so, like, I continued to like kind of work my finger into it to see if maybe it was something I needed to just get off the surface. Nope, not the case. It is just a really crunchy feeling shade. Could just be my palette. Could just be the batch of that one that I got. I have no way of knowing that, but I can only review the palette in my hand, and I would have to say that that red shade is not good. Like, it was just not, it was crunchy and it was weird and the texture was off and it was chalky and I did not like it. That right there reminded me of like a dollar store shadow, like straight up not the good kind, not the kind where you're like, oh my god, I'm so pleasantly surprised that I got this at the dollar store. More of the kind where you're like, wow, I'm pissed that that's in my $40 palette. That kind of drugstore. The rest of them blended amazingly. This one, the two lighter browns that I worked into the crease, woo, love those. This dark brown, great shade, not super chalky. This was actually like, as far as texture and consistency, this dark brown was somewhere in between these that I put in my crease and that red. It wasn't super creamy and smooth, but it also wasn't, you know, completely not chalky or whatever. It was somewhere like right in the middle. Not a bad shade. It still worked out good. I was able to use it, manipulate it the way I needed to. The one thing I didn't like about this super beautiful, you know, brown shade right here that I, again, put from the inner to the halfway, the shiny shade, the shade is Riot. I don't know why I don't tell you shade names. I just point and hope that you know what I'm talking about. My biggest issue with that shade is that even when applying it with my finger, the amount of fallout was so intense that like if you were close into my like face right now, you would still see there is so much like discoloration and light fallout that embedded into my under eye. And you guys saw, like, I was literally putting it on and wiping it away. Like, I was trying to get rid of it so that didn't happen, but there was so much that I couldn't get it all fast enough. And then it went into my inner corner right in here, and it actually kind of like muddied up that area and it made it look less clean and crisp. And you guys know I try to like make sure everything looks nice and blended and sultry and smooth. And if there's gonna be color there, I want it to look blended. But then when I went in with my inner eye highlight, it ended up looking just more mucked together in my inner eye, and it was because that shadow got so out of control so quickly and it just goes everywhere. It's just such a creamy shadow, and you can't fault it for being creamy because everybody wants a good creamy lustrous shadow, but it did seem like it had a hard time sticking to itself, sticking to my finger, and then really sticking to the lid. There was a lot of issue there. Overall, I thought, is there lipstick? Okay, I thought there was lipstick on my teeth. I was like, no girl. Overall, I think that this palette is, in my opinion, it's a little bit less quality than what I'm used to from Urban Decay. And maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the one I got. I have no idea, but I can say that this palette for me just didn't cut it. It doesn't stand up to the other Urban Decay shadows that I've, you know, dealt with. Not even this one, the Distortion palette. I just reviewed this one, and the quality doesn't even seem the same between these two palettes, or my Heavy Metal palette, or any of my Naked Heat or Naked palettes, which I guess would be Naked Heat, Naked 1, 2, 3. It just doesn't seem on par with those. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they were trying to make it more affordable. I don't know if there are different ingredients in it. I'm not sure. All I can tell you is that from my perspective, this one is just not cutting it for me. So for $40, I don't recommend this. Just my opinion. I can see the appeal. I can see why people would love it. I think for me, it only offers intensity that I'm not always a big fan of. When I look at a $40 palette, I want to know that there's a level of inclusivity, a level of like I can have options. And with this one, it seems like, yes, they give you a great crease buildup. Yes, they give you those options, but then it's like, okay, do you want intense, 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 or intense? And what I mean by that is they're all very dark, rich shimmer shades, which is amazing, but only if you're going after that aesthetic. Now, if you're the type of person that you only really put makeup on when you go out at night and that this kind of feel is your jam, then dude, go get it, and you don't have to waste money on all the other shades that you don't even love. Like if you just gravitate toward this kind of aesthetic and this kind of deep grungy, you know, deep tones, dude, it's yours all day. For me personally, I don't think so, and there's a couple shades in there that are thrown off, and I feel like for 9 shadows, I'm kind of like, a little bit, and I don't know. That's just me though, so for me, this one's a no, but I do think the Afterglow is awesome, and again, don't forget, this does retail, I believe it was $34, and for $34, 4 shadows, what does that equal a piece? Let's find out, because girl, you know I'm a nerd. Yeah, that's $8.50 a piece, so that's really not bad for these. Without knowing the pan size and all of that, it's not awful. I will say though that if you're one of those people that like you've been buying up highlight palettes like crazy, they were just on sale for Black Friday, you probably don't need this because a lot of the highlight shades and a lot of the highlight palettes are all the same. I hate to be that person that's like, well, because it's common sense, but like at the same time, I always caution you guys, like if you're going to spend your money on something, make sure it's something that you really gravitate toward. Otherwise, you know, maybe not so much. Oh, and on my lips, before I forget, I am wearing the Slay OMI liquid lipstick from Pat McGrath. You guys know I just reviewed these. I popped a little bit of that clear vinyl gloss over top, and girl, she is shiny and slaying. Okay, okay. You guys, don't forget, check the description box for all my social media handles, my Instagram, my Snapchat, all that good stuff, because that's where I hang out all the time. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it was what you were looking for. I know a lot of you guys were waiting on this review, and I'm so sorry it took so long. Oh God, it's just, I was waiting forever for this crap to come in the mail. Seriously, there have been so many, like, my video for this Maybelline Superstay would have already hit like 100,000 views. I have ordered it that long ago, and I'm like, you guys, you don't understand. I need it, and I live in such a rural place. It's not like I can just go get it. So I was just like, girl, I have subscribers, and they want the goods. They want the goods. Okay, you guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Urban Decay. All the thoughts. I sound like an infomercial.